Hi everyone. The title of the research paper is CEO Succession Origin, Types and its Effect on Performance in Malaysia. So I am Rapiah. I'm presenting on behalf of Dr. Wan Masniza and other authors Siti, Dr. Sumati and Aznin. So let's move on to the first slide, the introduction. Over the years, Malaysia has seen its fair share of CEO succession. A number of CEO, either voluntary or forced to leave one after the other, especially after the financial crisis 2007-2008. The obvious CEO succession can be seen from the case of Malaysia Airlines, the aircraft carrier. Malaysia Airlines has changed its CEO 4 times within 10 years, where 2 of the CEO are outsiders successors. The 2 CEOs has announced their departure unexpectedly. And due to the vague nature of their departure, there is a concern over its implication of the performance of the said company. If you look at the literature review, the previous study, result from previous study shown conflicting finding, mixture finding on the effects of CEO succession on performance. Some studies like Bernard 2016 and RIM 2006, the result of their study shown CEO succession bring positive influence to the firm performance. Some studies found negative influence like Puktuantong 2017 and Zhang 2016. Their study found out the CEO succession bring negative influence to the company. Other studies found insignificant result like Shepker 2017, Choi 2012 and Chen 2012. Hence, the objective of this paper, it is conducted with the aim to examine the effect of CEO succession, the origin, in other words, internal versus external, and types, voluntary and forced on firms' performance, in Malaysian scenario. What do we mean by internal versus external? This is referring to the appointment of the CEO. Internal means the CEO is appointed from the company, whereas external means the CEO come from outside. Voluntary and forced, voluntary and forced refer to the resignation, whether the resignation of the CEO on voluntary basis or they are forced to leave the company. So based on the objective, we have 3 hypotheses. The first one, CEO succession effect firms post performance. Hypothesis 2, internal and external CEO succession types affects firms performance. And hypothesis 3, CEO succession types that is voluntary or forced affects firms performance. Let's move on to the next slide, the research methodology. So this study is conducted by selecting or sample of 80 companies from main market of Bursa Malaysia, the stocks exchange. So out of these 80 companies, 40 firms experienced CEO succession in 2014. And the other 40 firms did not experience CEO succession. So we pair the firms and we run a pay match regression. Data are collected from annual reports of the companies and emerging market information system EMIS database. And based on the data collected, we have 3 models. The models were developed based on the measurement of the firm's performance, return on asset ROA, return on equity ROE, and return on sales. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so this is the research model, yeah, or the equation. Performance, the firm's performance is the dependent variables. So it was measured based on three measures: ROA, ROE, and ROS. Okay, and okay, the independent variables based on the hypothesis, we have three independent variable. The turnover, that is the CEO succession. Origin, that refers to the origin of the CEO, yeah, or the origin of the successor, whether they are appointed, okay, they are from the internal, yeah, or okay, the appointed CEO are from external, meaning from outside, yeah, outside of the company. That is the third. That is the second independent variables. The third independence variable is type or turnover type. Yeah. So this is referring to the voluntary or forced to leave the company. Okay. So these three independent variables, okay, are dummy variables. Yeah, one or zero. Yeah. And the rest of the variables are control variables. So the firm size, the leverage, the ROA or return on assets 1 year before succession, return on equity 1 year before succession, and return on sales 1 year before succession, and current ratio. So these six are control variables. Yeah? We found that from the previous study. Okay, these control variables influence firm performance. So let's move on to the next slide. Yeah. We have conducted a few tests, yeah, but straight away we go to the result of regression. Okay, so the regression result, yeah, based on the three model. The first model, CEO succession and firms post performance, where the dependent variable is return on asset. Yeah, I highlighted in red color or red font. Yeah, we found out, okay, all the three independent variable, the CEO turn or CEO succession, the CEO origin, and the CEO type show insignificant relationship with dependent variable of return on assets. Yeah, I highlighted the significant p-value, red color or red font. Yeah, if you look at the column of P, yeah, CEO turn 0.2027, CEO origin 0.4527, and CEO type 0.1159. So based on the 10% significant level, all of them are above 0.1 or above 10%. In other words, okay, the relationship are not significant. Yeah, the coefficient are positive and the other two are negative but not significant. So let's move on to model 2. Based on model 2, yeah, the same variable but the dependent variable are measured on ROE. So we use return on equity to measure dependent variable. Yeah. So we found out, okay, the CEO type, okay, the third independent variable shows negative significant relationship with return on equity. So if you look at the table, yeah, CEO turn and CEO origin, the p-value is above 0.1, meaning they are not significant if we are using 10% significant level. Yeah, whereas okay, the type, okay, 0.0907 is less than 0.1 significant level, the one red color or red font. Yeah, so okay, based on the 10% significant level, type, okay, is the CEO type is having negative significant relationship with return on equity, the firm performance. And if you look at the table, the relationship is negative. Yeah, what do we mean by this negative value? Yeah, Okay. The meaning of the negative value, okay, if we can interpret, when succession is by force, the change in management or CEO improve firm performance. Yeah, in other words, the forced uh, resignation of the CEO, improve the firm post performance. Okay. So let's move on to model 3. Okay, so model 3, we change the dependent variable measures to return on sale, ROS, the one I highlighted in red color. Yeah. So if you look at the result, so similar like model 2, okay, CEO turnover, CEO origin are not significant, whereas types of resignation, or the CO type is significant with P 0.0865, meaning less than 0.1. Yeah. So, okay, the result of model 3 is consistent with result of model 2, where okay, the CEO type shows negative significant relationship with ROS. Yeah. So if you look at the coefficient, it is negative. Yeah. The result support hypothesis 3. Okay, CEO succession type affects firm's performance. Succession type influence firm's performance. Yeah, if we were to interpret further, it might give us an indication that forced resignation improve the post firm's performance. So that is the result of the regression. Yeah. So let's move on to the last slide, the conclusion. So based on the result of 80 firms, finding indicates the forced CEO turnover improve post firm's performance. Yeah, the second and third model result are consistent. However, the study failed to support the first and second hypothesis on CEO succession and CEO origin. Yeah? So one of the possible explanation of the result may be due to change in the work culture, business strategy, and firm's objective after forced CEO turnover. Newly appointed CEO after forced CEO succession may have the support and trust of shareholders that facilitates new management commitment in delivering better financial result. Okay. For future study, we are suggesting, other researchers, to segregate the study into technical and non-technical industry. Yeah. And due to the due to the uniqueness of Malaysia with different culture, different ethnicity, we also suggested future researchers to dig into these different cultures and ethnicity that might also influence the CEO succession and firm's performance, as well as political factors in Malaysia. Yeah. This study contribute to the literature of the CEO succession, and it may also be an input to the company. In average, what is the impact of CEO succession on the firm's performance? Yeah. So with that, we do not have much time. Yeah, we are only given 10 to 15 minutes for the video recording. If you would like, to read further, if you would like to get the details of the paper, you're welcome to read the full text of the research. Yeah. So with that, thank you very much. Enjoy the day.